What's going on, guys? Red Bull Tanker, and welcome back to Korea 625 War. This is Operation Killer Turn 8 for the UN and the United States. China is now in the war and is beginning to push its forces south, so now we have to try and respond. Alright, UN with 20 seeing the massive Chinese army coming. What we are going to do for R20, we're going to buy 3 infantry, an artillery, and a medium tank. Deploying into Korea, we have the Duke of Wellington's Regiment, the Black Witch Regiment, and King's Red Liverpool Regiment. So that'll be all the British units deploying to Korea. The rest of the UN infantry that I buy going forward will not have unit markers, as they will represent other UN forces like the French, the Greeks, the Turks, all that. Okay, and then, all right, no combat for the UN, just non-combats. 3 transports. Well, 2 transports are going to come down. They will grab. These forces. Well, we'll leave that there. They'll just come and grab these 3 infantry and add them to the mounting infantry, the mounting UN infantry forces here in 38 West. So the bulk of the 29th Brigade is now in place on the border. Our air transport will remain, and then we will deploy. Oh, let me get these. And we will deploy the fighter and tactical bomber here. Whoops, in Sangju, and we'll move these guys up onto the deployment pad. Okay, then at the end of the turn, the UN collects 20. All right, over to the US. 50. They're going to buy 2 fighters and 6 mech. Combat. The US does have 1 combat this turn. They are going to attempt to bomb the 2 bridges here in Anshan and Shenyang. So bombing the bridges will work just like regular strategic bombing runs. However, unlike his new rules where the only AAA that can shoot are the AAAs in territory, in this one the bridges will have an inherent AAA, and again those AAA will hit on a 2 or less. So we'll start with the first. Let's start with the bridge off of Anshan. AAA. Misses. Alright, so then damage to the bridge. Alright, 1 measly damage on the bridge. But we've damaged it. Okay, then the second bridge. Whoa, I really shot that one out. Ooh, 2. Not good. So the US bomber was shot down because AAA hits on a 2 or less. Yeah, AAA hits on a 2 or less. So unfortunately, that American bombing run is over. No other combat, just non-combats. So what's going to happen is this air transport is going to come back to 8th Army. Because I might be using more paratroopers, I did decide to change up the markers for the airborne. They are now brought down to the company level. So we have A Co 1st Battalion, B Co 1st Battalion, and C Co 1st Battalion 187th. So the 1st Battalion of the 187th is currently deployed into Korea. Let's see here. The 2 of the transports from here will come down, grab these 2 medium tanks, bring them north and attach them to 9th Corps. this supply truck, and then the third transport's going to come down and pick up 6 of the supply. And we're actually going to drop it here with the Air Force in Chuncheon, kind of have a base from which to fall back on for supply purposes. And then I'll just do that. Well, and then this supply truck will take those 3 and go 1, 2. We'll go up to Osan. We'll try and keep ourselves protected a little bit here. And then the bomber will come back to 5th Air Force headquarters at Seoul. Rats. And then, oops. So I'll put the 2 I'll put the 2 air transports back here. And then coming into Korea, we have these forces along with a jet fighter. And then we throw these 2 purchases up onto there. And I think that'll be it. So yes, the US. Okay, I did it again, but let's see here. Okay, they still wouldn't have been able to purchase nukes anyways. I gotta remember to do that. Oh, this is bugging me. Okay, so then at the end of the turn, the US collects their 50. Okay, so scoreboard, Communist 28, Allies 30. Allies are winning. We are now going to move on. So ignore that this next turn is going to be 3 months. It's only going to be 2 months. So we're now going to turn 9, which will cover October and November of 1951. So that is going to be it for now, guys, and we will see you next time for North Korea. So until then, guys, as always, take care.